Hello, dear friends of astrology. This is Sat Sangat with Sat Sangat Astrology. Today is July the 14th, 2019, and I'm here to talk about the lunar eclipse occurring on July 16th. Um, Near the 17th in some places maybe. You can look at the timeanddate.com website on the exact, you can look up the exact time at your place. You can watch it live. There's interactive maps. It's very cool website. You can get all kinds of information on the eclipses, past and future. So this is the full moon at 24 degrees of Capricorn. It is obviously, for an eclipse to happen, is very close to the south node in this case. So the moon will be covered by the shadow of the earth. So normally in a full moon, there is the sun opposing the moon, shining the light on her. However, of course, because it will be covered by the earth, so the moon will be dark. So, I think this is a very important lunar eclipse for relationships of all kinds. Not only personal, but professional, and just relationship with ourselves included. So, looking into the mirror. Symbolically, the sun is the masculine principle, facing across the moon, which is the feminine principle. Any planetary opposition relates to relationships, in this case, between the yin and the yang energy. But in our life, the opposition can manifest as a relationship between two people, be it lovers, partners, or any other kind of confrontational relationship. So during the lunar eclipse, consciousness, which is represented by the sun, illuminates the unconsciousness, which is the moon. So real evidence appears from the hidden, covered, and seen reality. Individually, what is shown in the mirror may be the reflection of something unspoken, veiled in the most secret chambers of our psychology. At this time, we are forced to see ourselves in the spotlight of a revelation. So, a couple of days ago, actually on July 14th, very early morning here in central United States, there was a Pluto Sun opposition, at 21 degrees respectively, Cancer and Capricorn. And that was a very powerful day for many people. You can read my blog about that. It's called Spotlight on the Underworld. It's an event that built up to this eclipse, so it would be important to add that information if you're interested, or if you happen to have had an event or something of notice that this day. So the sun in Cancer sheds light on family issues, childhood themes, safety, protection. The moon exiled in Capricorn shows the shadow side of governmental, institutional, social structures and conditionings. Conditionings from our family lineage, conditionings from our childhood that are not supporting our emotional life anymore. So the crab may walk sideways looking for asylum, refuge, safety, but the goat only has the top of the mountain in mind, and the steep flank of the mountain cannot stop it. To reclaim its emotional refuge, the conscious self may need to adopt some new protective structures, formal boundaries, restrictions, and limits in order to overcome and heal the unconscious issues now in the open. So, as I said, why in the open? Because of the Pluto, the Sun-Pluto opposition, which has been very powerful. So she requires us to take responsibility and stop crying for the spilled milk, wipe her tears, and get to work. The feelings are very strong and profound with the moon conjunction with Pluto. Under her light, Pluto has unearthed the rotten, long-time submerged issues from the underworld. Something from the unconscious mind was so rotten that was ready to burst any protective lid we were forcefully using to push it down. The explosion is inevitable. Um, so this happens in the house occupied by Capricorn in our charts. So if the sun is not happy in the melancholic sign of Cancer, the moon is even more unhappy in Capricorn, the opposite sign from her home. There, she needs to regain composure, wipe her tears, exercise self-control and discipline, work hard, and work for a long time to obtain what she wants emotionally. So the Capricornian environment is hostile to her emotions, memories, and intuitive actions. On the other hand, the boundaries that Capricorn provides helps the moon to stabilize. She's restricted, unable to express her emotions in the moment. She needs to wait to express her emotions. The kind of wait that takes the pain to bed when you can cry without witnesses. The feelings that may arise are affliction, pressure, frustration, a knot in the stomach, powerlessness, impotency. She's overpowered by Pluto's intense atomic power. So Pluto is control, is there regenerating our emotional body. And through the process, we transform. It's like the caterpillar inside the chrysalis. We are liquefied with emotions, like the caterpillar is made in a glue and liquid, and then in order to transmute into a butterfly. So the change this eclipse will operate is profound. So some force outside of our control is destroying something inside of us to recreate it into another form, completely new, something that that doesn't make us happy anymore dies, and there is a rebirth of something that we really, really want, because we want to be comfortable, we want to be feel well, feel happy, be able to expand in safety. So Cancer, the water, emotions, and Capricorn, the earth, the forms, are both needed to give shape to the physical reality, right? The opposition creates the tension necessary to mix them together and rebalance those polarities of inner knowing and outer power. because the new reality must first be created inside of us in order for us to recreate it in the outside world, right? The inner energy creates the outer reality. So there is something that we are not happy anymore inside of us. And we have been slowly replacing those with the new hopes, with the new ways of feeling. So we first have to look for happiness and emotional shelter inside, introspectively, in order to be able to manifest it outside. Usually, what we have done so far is that we look for it, for the happiness in the environment first, dissipating our energy, giving our power away to forces, external forces. For example, oh, I will be happy when I have a home, a partner, my children, a job, when I graduate, when I travel somewhere to feel safe, right? The sun moon opposition creates the necessary tension for us to achieve this process and start to look inside of us instead of waiting or hoping that something outside will make us feel comfortable. So, this full moon takes us to the underworld, and it may be painful. Pluto will certainly bring very intense experiences for everyone. Each of us will experience this in a different area of life, not necessarily on the eclipse day per se, but throughout the 2 year period. As I explained before in my previous post and my previous video about the solar eclipse on July 2nd, you can watch that video if you'd like. So, with a crisis of some sort, we will, if not done so already, realize something critically important for our soul's evolution. Some unconscious conditioning is out in the daylight for us to see, forcing us to deal with it. And as I said before, it may come up from a relationship with someone. Someone else may be poking us in order for us to realize something. The disintegration of structures and systems Pluto operates in Capricorn forces us to reinvent our self identity, to regenerate our self authority, Sun in Cancer, and ultimately empower our core emotional personality. So we are in the process of integration of a new identity, a higher self. Given the transformation of the context in which we live, we end up asking, who am I? So the transiting contact of the faster planet with the nodal axis, specifically with the North Node, stirs up karmic and past lives issues, past childhood conditionings, past lives, unfinished businesses with people, events, circumstances from the past, anything that may carry consequences that we haven't dealt with. So remember, we have 5 planets in retrograde mode, which makes us go back. And it could be the case that people come back to our lives so we can review issues. The eclipses have brought those themes to the surface for us to deal with them. So once we process them, we're ready to use the experience to move forward. So there could be traumatic feelings, traumatic experiences, and we don't need to carry guilt, or we don't need to carry resentment or regret things. So think positively that things and people that come to our lives are kind of that wise woman or wise man or wise trickster in a fairy tale that is helping the protagonist, the main character of the story, and shows the way. There are fairy tales where there's a wise man that gives the character a ring, for example, and tells him or her how to use it in case of this event or that. So this is the kind of experiences that we may have in order for us to heal. So it's important to develop awareness of those issues that are coming out to the light in order to overcome fears, restrictions, frustrations, and long held unconscious baggage. So coincidentally, I received an email from one of my teachers, Bhikkhu Chintita Dinsmore, with an article where he wrote about the meaning of the word sati in the original Pali writings of the Buddha is less. Sati is less about applying the full mind in the moment. Sati is often translated as mindfulness, but it's actually less about having the full mind present in the moment, and more about the memory. By sati, the Buddha meant recollection or complete memory of all things past and their lessons. So, uh, what I think is that mindfulness in this lunar eclipse can mean a hard encounter with memories, with a naked reality, a past real pain and suffering. And we may have one of those experiences when we come face to face with our deepest, most suppressed fears. So, what is your most intense fear in this life? It's certainly related to the themes of the house, where the zodiac house, where the moon and Pluto meet in Capricorn. So look at your chart and see where Capricorn is. What is the house that it occupies? And that will show you the theme. Let's say it's the fifth house, and that's the house of creativity, of children, of your self-expression, and it's also the house of joy, the way you approach joy, the how you were, for example, conditioned to have joy. And so there might be something that needs to be changed there in order for you to enjoy life. So it's useless to try to avoid and elude or evade what's coming to us. So that's Pluto. Pluto cannot be avoided. Those of us who have lived in long enough know that in the end, whatever comes, even the most painful event or circumstances, is helping us direct our energy to our personal evolution. So, and in the end, it's good for us. So it's like taking that awful medicine, and swallowing that horrible thing, and then it's good for us. It makes us heal and whole. So every experience helps us grow. So we become wiser and we learn unconditional love, to learn and understand truth, that which is the immutable essence of all, not the true thing or event, but the truth, with the capital letter. So that way we're sure to come back to the surface, to fly like the caterpillar breaking out of the chrysalis. And also, it's said that Pluto is the phoenix rising from the ashes. So new life, transformation, transmutation. We gain a new form in that area of life. And I think the aim of everything is perfecting love. Simultaneously, just about 7 degrees away from the sun and the moon, Venus conjoins the north node and Saturn the south node at 17 degrees. So, our desires, values, love relationships, finances receive the impact of Saturn's dryness, discipline, contraction, regulation, and conventional demands. So, in order to obtain the needed emotional stability, we are asked to approach our values, our love interests, and desires very seriously, patiently, and work hard for them. So, remember, it's not bad to have desires. That's why we are here. But the thing is that we need to choose uh, the level of those desires, the way we desire things, so it's not damaging for us or for other people, right? We may desire some things that are not good. That are not good, period. Or we may desire things or people, and in that doing, we are making other people unhappy. So Saturn retrograde with the South Node is revisiting and assessing the old structures, social conditionings, and regulations. We are reflecting about the need to revive, adopt, and defend family values, moral values, conventional society values that ensure human dignity and prosperity. So it's not that we need to restrict and discipline ourselves because of what society will say, or because those are prescribed by the society or by the law. Or it's because we need to ensure our own dignity and integrity. Integrity is the main thing in this lunar eclipse. So our desires should follow some structure, some principles that will protect ourselves and other people, especially the integrity, the dignity, and prosperity. So, Jupiter square Neptune have been inspiring us to incorporate more spiritual ideas and practice to life. So, this is a very nice influence. Remember, Neptune is in trine with the North Node and sextile with Saturn in the South Node. And this is very helpful because this is this spirituality, inspiration to merge with the essence of all, and to look for the good of everybody. So Saturn sextile Neptune not only supports their realization, the realization of our dreams, but gives the material to make them tangible. So now Neptune trine Venus and the North Node inspires a more perfect love, the unconditional love that encompasses all and everything, meaning that is the kind of love that doesn't hurt others. So just a few days earlier, an explosive rebellion or a tragic, powerful eruption provoked by Uranus in Taurus square Mars in Leo was the last straw that broke the camel's back. So if you remember a few days ago, let's say a week ago or something, something happened that was very explosive, and it triggered the necessary reaction for us to make the change. So, for some, it may have caused a physical or material sudden change, but for others, just was an emotional or psychological realization But in any case, whatever happened, it was like the wise, helpful trickster I was talking about before in the fairy tale, showing another perspective and a better path to follow, showing a way to solve this problem, a clever way to solve this problem. So the Cancer Capricorn eclipse season is this lunar eclipse is just halfway through the Capricorn Cancer eclipse season. So we have 4 more eclipses to come highlighting the same theme. Um, one is December 26th at 4 degrees of Capricorn. It's a solar eclipse. So the other one is 20 degrees Cancer again. So January 10th. And that will be followed by the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto at 22 degrees of Capricorn, January 12th, 2020. So next series of eclipses will be on June next year. So the solar eclipse will be at 0 degree of Cancer, June 21st, 2020. And the lunar eclipse will be at 13 degrees of Capricorn, July 5th, 2020. So we're midway of the season, as I said. And patience and reflection is needed here and is the best course of action because we still have a lot to learn, a lot to change. Because of Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn, which will conjoin, as I said, in January, and that's a very powerful event. I mentioned before, and I'm gonna write a blog and probably make a video about the conjunction. Last time this conjunction happened was in the 1518, 1518, and it was about 500 years ago. So this is not a conjunction that happens every day. This is a special time in our lives that will teach us something very important and that will transform our lives for forever. Changes are profound and long lasting, and they have taken a long time to be made. So this is something that has been happening for a few years now, and culminating in January. But it's not something that will happen in one day. Pluto works very, very slowly. It spends more than 20 years in one sign. And Saturn, I mean, the whole revolution of Saturn lasts 29 years about. So this is a conjunction, as I said, that we're kind of privileged to experience. It's been 500 years ago since last time they met in Capricorn. So we need time to digest the changes and assimilate them. So I wish you the best. If you have questions or would like to have your chart read, interpreted, and if you need advice to face these times, which are difficult, just don't hesitate to write to me. The email will be in the description box, and I wish you the best. Much love to you, and see you next time. Thank you for watching. Share the video, make comments, like it, and that will help my channel. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.